Welcome back, challengers. Your man's Darwin Darko here. I brought some more dope beats for you to step to. We got five. Yep. We got five projects on today's season 6, episode 4. Midnight Generation, Tender Love. We got Dreamer Isioma, StarX Lover. Duendita project. Duckwrth with the All-American F-Boy, pop rock kind of joint, and KRS One, the legend, dropped a banger. So we'll get to that in a second. But while you're here, remember, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, share with your friend. You know, drop something in the comment. Let me know what you think about the albums, what you think about the projects, and maybe something that you've been rocking out to that maybe I can review, share with the folks. But before I do all that, honorable mention. First up, I mean, I don't like to bring the negativity off top like this, but Young Thug is a dummy. I'm just gonna have to put it out there like that, just straight up, bro. You was looking at like 1,000 years. You got off of that RICO charge. And now you playing around, messing around, and like tweeting some joint where potentially get locked up again. What's the matter with these kids? And off of some joint where like, bro, you like sending pictures and talking shit about a witness from your trial. Why are you even talking about that? Why are you on Twitter? Why are you on social media with that joint? Just let loose. Let that phone loose. You on probation. I think the result came out. The judge looked at it and was like, okay, no, not this one. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna let this one slide. But the lady ended up getting like death threats and stuff like that. And that's what you're gonna do with the result. You're Young Thug. You got the followers are like that. It's stochastic terrorism is really what it is. It's that same vein of stuff. And you risking your freedom for that, man. Somebody need to be like, yo, bro, bring them kids in here. Bring them kids in here. Bring kids. You see these kids? I think you got like 6 kids. You see these kids? You don't want to see them ever again? Is what you're trying to do? Dummy, put the damn phone away. Fuck wrong with you? You got away by the skin of your teeth, and you playing around with some social media joint that could get you locked up again. Meek Mill got hemmed up for doing a wheelie from all that probation joint. At least that was like, you could definitely make a case like, yeah, that was wild for y'all, like, talking about he, violates probation off of that. But for this thing, you legit put this person life in danger. They got threatening calls. Somebody could actually have taken some action and slid on her like that. And then you deleted it. Why didn't you just like not do it in the first place? That's a dumb move. We're trying to get the work. We're trying to get the art out here. Like, dog, go in the studio. I'm off of that, but I hope this is the last we hear about him doing anything. Just like go do your if you're doing your charity work or something like that. Okay, yeah, we'll hear about you in the news or in the channels for something like that. But all this extra stuff you are on, you gotta be on pins. You gotta be on your P's and Q's right now. And for something so petty because you want to tweet something out, bro, just go in the backyard and yell that shit out into the air, bro, and you get it out, and boom, you'll be good. What you gotta do? You have all these people with the eyeballs on it so they can know that you said something. Bro, they just like letting social media just ruin their lives, and you just barely got away with some like facing some like tough time. But whatever, hopefully he takes that close call and turns things around. Shout out to the Gators. Go Gators. Them fools just they made it to the championship game in the tournament. They just beat Auburn. They beat them 79-73. And so they're gonna be facing, looks like Houston. They upset Duke. They beat them 70-67. So honorable mention, shout out to the Gators. NCAA champions. Like I used to live in Gainesville, and I was there when they won that back-to-back national championship. We like, well, yo, this is title town, because it's like they won the basketball joint, then they won the football, and then they won the basketball. Oh man, what a time to be alive. But shout out to the Gators. You know what I mean? I always been a fan since I used to live up there for a little while there. So I'm looking forward to the game. The game is going to be on Monday night. It should be a big one. I think Houston kind of got lucky to beat Duke in that one. So Florida should definitely be favored. So it looks like we might have another one. Billy Donovan is gone, long gone. You know, he's in the league now, and he's doing pretty well. But he is in the league now, and looking like they might get another chip for the swamp. All right, so shout out to them. On the other side, we get right into our first project, Midnight Generation. Midnight Generation. This project is Tender Love. It's a funk-fueled band from Chihuahua, Mexico. These guys are charging a comeback in 2025 for disco, man. This album is fresh, it's familiar. It positions the band as, you know, on in the vanguard of leading the charge for the comeback of disco. Uh, very much like Chromeo. You know, matter of fact, I think they opened for Chromeo and one of the shows there. This album was released on the 3rd of April. It mixes nostalgic disco vibes, but it's got like a modern twist to it. And still has like a Latin flair. You know, they're out of Mexico. Even from the very first track, Energy. You know, I feel like there's like a sample there. It's a salsa. It's kind of like a salsa. Just like some salsa disco, right? Mixed in there with the electronica. It's dope stuff. Midnight Generation is is this four-piece band, but like you know they got their DJ on there. It's what's his name? Fernando Mares, and they got another dude, Samuel and Bika. I don't remember what name of the other. There's another guy that's part of the band, but it, you know they still have their distinct flavor themselves, their unique distinct flavor, while still you can get the remnants of Daft Punk. It's like heavy Daft Punk. There was one track I'm like, it's like, did they get Giorgio for this track? You know, George is not at Daft Punk, but he's worked with Daft Punk a bit, right? Um, which I think I did an album review for him. Did he have an album out recently? I might have done one a couple weeks ago. But Bee Gees, get some vibes of that, some disco, some Bee Gees stuff, some funk. This 11 track project is all a blend of that. It's electro pop, funk, house, some neo soul, of course, classic disco just energizes this whole thing. That one song, speaking of energy, that first track, Energy, and what's this other one? Oh baby, what comes around goes around. This joint has like an infectious groove, some silky synths on that bit. Yeah, man, that it's got some dance floor ready hooks. They maintain their unique voice while drawing on classic influences. It feels both timeless and fresh, a lot like Chromeo. They are they are they're standouts. The sound now at this stage is very polished. The music is designed to move, it's designed to uplift, to connect, it's designed to dance. So you're gonna want to like play this out on some speakers. Play this at a party. There's a lot of innovation that's happening on here. It's groovy. Longtime fans and new fans, like it's like an invitation for everybody to just get on that dance floor, come together and vibe over a familiar sound. They've been doing pretty good as a band. They in terms of like so okay, like I said, they opened up for Chromeo. There was another Sticky Fingers, and they're able to fill arenas themselves. No, not arena. Did they fill arena? I don't know if they had arenas, but they had stadiums. They've done stadium shows. But man, if this is what disco is going to be sounding like in 2025, Chromeo set the way, you know, past few years, and these guys are picking up the torch and taking it from here, man. I'm here for it. Dreamer Isioma's third studio album. StarX Lover or Star-Crossed Lover. This is a bold, genre-defying exploration. We're talking about love, mental struggle, the desire for freedom. So this is going to be a 15-track album. You're going to get about 36 minutes on this joint. It offers both an intimate and expansive sound that draws listeners closer to this lush and futuristic soundscape. Star-Crossed Lover blends indie rock, R&B, there's Afro pop, there's like alternative hip hop sounds on this joint. Maybe even soul, a little bit of soul in terms of like a performance on one of the tracks. It's grungy, it's rock infused. It it's an evolution of Dreamer's style. Dreamer is actually a producer on this thing, blending what can be just the grit of rock and roll and some like digital clarity. It's it's all intentional. There's like no fillers in it. The production is top notch and everything makes sense in its context. So it can be a little bit of a roller coaster ride, but man, there you get from go from some scuzzy guitar riffs to like haunting pianos and like, wait, where did that come from? Like, oh, it makes sense when you listen to it all, right? When you put it all together. I'm thinking of like tracks like Did You Ever Care and Dead End. And the bass line in that joint is tough. With some distorted guitars, there's like a gothic, melancholy kind of thing. Think Evanescence. So imagine like Evanescence mixed with Panic at the Disco, mixed with Dochi, right? Like it works. It all works. You gotta like, you put that thing in a blender and this is the baby that comes out of it. Well, out of the blender. I don't know. Crazy metaphor there. Lyrically, the album is very personal. It explores themes of one-sided love, longing, anarchy, existential reflection. It's a big, some big swings thematically that Dreamer is going for on this thing. Each song is a journey. It can be it can be a little bit uncomfortable at times, but that's what self-discovery does. If you're doing it right, that journey is like through chaos and healing and destruction and rebuilding. Dreamer invites the listener to go in on this ride. And if you put your headphones on and you like pay attention close, it's one of those, right? You can get on that journey and it could be a self-discovery for yourself too. I think it's man, more than worth listening to. This is a must listen. It's a spiritual and sonic journey. It's liberating. It's rock, but it's hip hop. It's, man, I put a like on all of these tracks. There's probably two or three that I didn't put a like thing on, man. All repeat. It's 36 minutes, so it's a good length. I like that length, but gotta put it on repeat. There's a lot of things you can miss the first time around. Like I said, the production is so um deep and layered. This is a project that really delivers a this heartfelt reminder that even in the dark moments, we're never alone. A strong desire to survive. Duendita. This joint was released on April 4th. Man, this is a powerful testament to resilience and transformation, what she put together here. Duendita is her stage name. Her real name is Candice Lee Camacho. She infuses her music with a lot of emotion and sonic depth. I ain't know they made them like that in Queens, but well, she's Puerto Rican. I think she's Puerto Rican. I think she's Puerto Rican, so they're all up in Queens. Don't quote me on that one. No, bro, into the seats of Bohemia and El Salvador. So I think she might be Puerto Rican. But her stage name is Duendita, and that is a quite interesting concept. The duende concept, it's a Spanish thing. Um, it it reflects a mysterious emotional force that stirs the soul, and especially in the arts. And this, so it's like, when they talk about athletes are in flow, or they go in flow state, it's sort of like that, right? I don't know if they have the exact definition. I don't think I saw the exact definition where, but it's sort of like that though. When But when an artist, from a singer to a painter or guitar, you see sometimes the guitars would get on that thing and they're just going crazy, right? And there's like something takes over them, almost like they're possessed, right? That's what duende is supposed to sort of describe. I don't think it has an exact translation, but you know, it, it's I guess it could be even warped to say like, somebody they would say they make the analogy of an artist being touched by God. Like, man, he's got a blessing, or he's anointed or something like that. There's this like Carlos Santana had this sort of thing where where it's like almost like the devil went down to Georgia kind of thing, and the devil put it in with that fiddle, right? When you playing that, you just tearing it up, and you just making beautiful music, but it's coming from like this darker place, this sort of like a vicious attacking of the instrument, whether it's vocally or or in some strings or keys or something like that. It's supposed to be kind of that kind of origin, right? With the duende, I think it's an originated from multiple languages removed from the word demon. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comments, like and subscribe while you're there. But I sort of lean into that when I look at the album cover. But I'm gonna get in that in a second. Uh, the production, the production on this thing blends soul, ambient music. Uh, Remember I was saying how well, this is several seasons back. Andre 3K, that album was an ambient album. This got jazz, some gospel in this thing, electronica, but it's more like the electronica is like some avant-garde electronica. There's some psychedelic influences. It's fearless. It's a very much on the experimental edge. She even uses her voice as an instrument, shifting from some soaring, soulful type performances on here, um, down to something that's a little bit more raw and visceral, and it's all intentional. She chooses the delivery, and it's intentional. It's perfectly timed because this album is it's another one of these journeys. I think of a track like Healing the Pain. In this one, she's really showcasing her vocals on there, the piano. Yeah. And then there's this Cutie. Cutie kind of grounds her voice. These tones are way more fractured, melodic. There's some f fluid transitions going through this thing. I'm thinking of like this track Hammock. It goes from jazz to gospel to electro. There's a metamorphosis that's happening, with all of it, just blending it all together is like some kind of alchemy that's happening throughout this whole thing. Witchcraft, maybe, right? So there's 10 tracks here. It feels a little bit, it feels a little bit invasive. It feels like we're being invasive a little bit in terms of the listeners. It feels like a diary. This is almost like an open reading of her diary. It's addressing a lot of trauma, a lot of pain, but it's still giving space for joy and healing. I think it's the sort of thing it's it's addressing the trauma and it's constantly is living in that space and you can feel it, but it's always keeping an eye towards healing, learning to trust again after being violated. So what happened was that there was a Candace had a I'm not sure what happened. It was just some life altering stuff that happened in Berlin. And I don't know if this has happened in Berlin, but like it was from a trip that she took to Berlin that this project was inspired by. And you can it doesn't take a detective to like piece together what sorts of what this thing is. So you listen to lyrics, but just looking at the track titles, and I'll read some to you. First track out the gate, Why I Didn't Report. Already right there, this thing should have came with like a trigger warning, probably, right? There's another one that's called Die Not, Break the Silence, Healing the Pain. That's another track on there. So it's some heavy discussion, some heavy conversation that's happening in here. But it's all emphasizing moving forward, focusing on healing, on self-love in particular, and finding liberation after suffering some past trauma. I'm looking at the cover art here, and I think it really encapsulate what is happening on here. It encapsulates her being Duendita, and I talked about the demon thing. So there's this like twisted creature, this green creature that is got reaching for this human face and kind of like caressing this human face with these long claws. Initially, it looks very scary, but on a deeper inspection, you see that human face looks pretty calm. It's a brown face, by the way. Calm, the eyes are closed. It's almost like I don't know if the person is spellbound by this creature. It's clearly like oh, is it a male creature? Maybe I'm looking at the hairline and stuff like that. It might be a male creature. That is sort of like, yo, I'm a demon, but I'm caressing you, like sort of like tricking you that I'm a safe space. I'm safe to be around with these freaking long ass claws on this thing. So the person could be spellbound, but the person could also be calm in the face of danger, which can be a trauma response as well. I don't know. There's a lot in that art. There's a lot in that art, and I love that she matched that artwork with the project what the music is doing. There's a lot of symbolism in all of this. There's a lot of symbolism in the track titles and the songs themselves. Duendita is getting into some very vulnerable spaces in this thing, but she still wants to emphasize growth and still wants to desire having love, but love that doesn't cause harm, of course. Couple of standout tracks. Baby Teeth, that's another standout track on there. I didn't mention from earlier. It's really like the core. I would say Baby Teeth is the core of this project, the emotional core. There's a gentle piano playing. There's even I think she got a choir in that joint, and I read that maybe that choir. I think she recorded this thing in her bedroom. That's very intimate in her own bedroom. Like that. Just think about that. That track is a personal celebration of surviving a dark experience. It's like finding light, finding healing in the darkest moments. This whole thing is vulnerable, but still visionary. The album embraces pain, but it's always keeping its eye on healing. I would say overall, this project is a reminder that healing is not linear. Some people talk about how like, oh, when something traumatic happens and you get better over time, you heal over time. But it's not, it doesn't just work that way. Because some couple of different reasons. First of all, healing is not linear. You can start doing much better and then you regress or things go left. And also, if there's the other person, if it's if it's something where you had a like you butt heads with somebody, they are on their own timetable, their own schedule when what their healing process is like. Maybe they're regressing. Maybe you're the only one that's healing, and the other person isn't doing any better. Trauma is crazy like that, man. It's wild. It's wild stuff. It's messy, but you got to go through it and you got to put in the work. It just time. Nah, man. They say time heals all wounds. It don't work like that. It don't just work like you gotta time is part of it, but you gotta put in work during that time. You can't just like passively just let the time's clicking. So by this time, 2 months from now, I'll be healed. Problem solved. Nah, bro. That bit do not work like that. Being vulnerable like this, putting your work out like this and putting it on wax, that's that's probably some behavioral therapist type stuff. Like to be able to put that out. Some people write journals, some people write a letter. Some people write a letter and send it to the person who transgressed them. Some people don't. They burn it. Whatever. As long as you get like, but that's work, right? That's actually go to therapy. That's actually doing the work. This album is a great project, and I hope this was cathartic for her, and she got the healing. And there's probably still more work to be done uh, to really embrace loving herself again. But overall, this is a survivor's album, not a victim's. Duckwrth's All-American Fuckboy stands out for its raw honesty, bold production, and genre-blending sound. The album has gained attention because, um, well, it's Duckworth, but at the same time, he actually dropped it on Wednesday to avoid the crowded Friday release window. Very competitive, very competitive space if you choose to do it. I got hiccups, so I'm just gonna have to like power through it. All American Fuckboy blends alternative punk rock, hip hop, and electronic elements. This is going to be giving you like a creative, eclectic sound. He's collaborating with producers Black Odyssey and Too Fresh on this project, bringing together some pulsating beats, innovative arrangements. It just adds to the overall dynamic of the energy that he's putting forth in this project. If you end up liking this album, I would suggest going back and checking out Duckworth's previous work, especially work that he's done with Black Odyssey, 1-800 Fantasy. Definitely recommend. It's kind of similar themes and sound. Okay, so it's called All American F-Boy. I feel like it's sort of a playoff of All American Rejects. Again, there's a lot of like rock influence, punk rock influence on this project. Um, he's confronting his flaws. It's authentic. It's vulnerable. It's a little bit. I get the vibe a little bit like he's playing with the concept, but he's serious at the same time. Unless he's just like a really good method actor or something like that. But he's like embodying this role of F-boy, but he's going through the phases of relationships. It's all about the trajectory or the progression of a relationship and how his own he's putting himself on Front Street on like I am bad at this. I'm doing these things. There's some monologues in here where he's just on some F-boy stuff. It doesn't seem like he's having any growth throughout. So this we have 53 minutes, nearly an hour, just 21 tracks. I mean, a couple of interludes and stuff, but it you're wondering throughout, like, yo, is he gonna learn his lesson on this thing? And the second to last track is called "I'm Really Changing." And you listen to those, you listen to a couple of tracks before then, you'll notice that, okay, maybe this character is getting a little bit more introspective. Maybe they're learning a lesson a little bit here. Maybe they'll turn around and become a better version of themselves by the end of this story here. So it does provide a powerful journey overall. It's very reflective. I don't know if it's the story about himself or if it's the character he's playing, but I know he in some of the monologues he's talking about him doing a show. So maybe this is actually personal to him, and I can feel that it comes. This album feels personal. It feels like these are some reflections that he's had on himself. He's got Lakeith Stanfield on here. Lakeith Stanfield makes a couple of appearances. These aren't going to be on the interludes, prov providing kind of like a narrator. And it's broken up. The whole thing is broken up into three chapters. Well, there's three listed chapters. I think it's four chapters. Different segments of the relationship, different segments of his own evolution. I think it's a really dope dynamic for him, his voice, and Lakeith Stanfield's voice, man. Lakeith Stanfield to me is a little bit of a weirdo. Uh, Not just the movies that he picks, but just him as a character. Listen to interviews with him, just like reading articles about him, and he's a little bit of a he's an eclectic person himself. This whole album is like that, and so it's a perfect fit for him to be on there. What was that last movie? Lakeith Stanfield has been doing this thing like with these movies. Okay, so the Book of Clarence, I remember seeing that. There was a lot of promo for that, and he's got this thing that keeps happening with him in some movies that, especially if it's a movie that he's starring in. Like Sorry to Bother You was another one where it's a very interesting movie. He's playing a very interesting character. The plot is like, oh wow, okay, I haven't heard this plot before. I haven't seen this story told before. But then he just doesn't land a plane on in these movies. They're like the third act of these movies is just always just weird. They just go left, and it's like, dang, bro, you had a good thing there. Like that 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 Book of Clarence could have. Well, I wonder what was the rating on this thing. Yeah, Rotten Tomatoes 66, IMDb 5.6. Just he just doesn't know how to land a plane on these things. I think he tends to like I don't know if he's like choosing these joints or if he's a producer on them, but like they always kind of end up the same way. But for this album, I think they landed a plane on this album. Last track is called Temporary Pleasures. So it's almost like a lesson learned, admitting to these, mistakes that he was making because he was making decisions um that were just providing temporary pleasure. The album does go beyond just the listenership. It might be a concept album, but it's engaging. It's for listeners of this. Okay, so the standout track is gonna be your it's the second track on this joint, Toxic Romantic. Go check that one out. Right there, it's already a blend of punk rock, candid storytelling about the volatile nature of love and just your toxic behavior. Present company excluded. I can see how this project could be like holding up a mirror to some listeners. KRS One, knowledge reigns supreme. He reaffirms his influential role in hip hop as the MC, philosopher, and AKA teacher. With this new project, Temple of Hip Hop Global Awareness. The album is a 35-minute boom bap energy legacy of hip hop in your face um manifesto. Really, is what I'll call it. Yo, KRS One is nearly 60 years old and he's still got something to say. I'm looking at you, Andre. He still got something to say. Um, this is a whole lecture and rhyme. KRS One is hip hop. And on this project, he is solo the entire way, carrying that whole showcase himself. He's a one-on-one kind of talent like that. And as long as he's the type of dude that as long as he's got breath breath in his lungs, he gonna still be spitting. And he was born to do this. He's one of those people. He was born to do this. His pen is still sharp. Bars are still on point. Beats is knocking. Delivery, cadence, switching up the flow. The whole thing. What I love the most about it is like it's all a love letter to hip hop. That's the only thing he's emphasizing on here. Just the conscious lyricism about the love of hip hop and the importance of hip hop and respect hip hop, like Kendrick told y'all, right? Mostly the album is sort of like reflections on KRS as a thinker, his influence on the game, just a torchbearer for hip hop. Central to the album is concepts of the global awareness, highlighting the influence that hip hop has had as a universal language. Hip hop transcends borders, race, class. There's a unifying aspect to hip hop when it's not bastardized. Temple of Hip Hop goes beyond this an album, any one album. It's like I said, it's a manifesto. It's the philosophy of hip hop as a way of life. Part of which also he's a graffiti artist, you know? That's part of hip hop. It's deeply tied to the temple, like I mentioned, that he has in Newark, New Jersey. He founded this nonprofit to promote, preserve, and expand hip hip hop as a global movement. He views hip hop in the temple, and their like mantra there is that hip hop is a spiritual, cultural, political force. If we're being honest, right? Um, it's been the background music for protest songs. It's been the background. It's been the rallying cry uh, for activists for 50 years. The mission is to uplift and educate the culture over at the temple. I got I'm gonna put up the website. I think maybe I'll put up yeah, you got the website, the temple of hip-hop.org. Reading up a little bit, the temple, it's a hip hop preservation ministry, archive, school, and society established in 1996. That boy KRS One, been about that life. Established in 1996 to ensure the proper preservation and the ongoing development. I gotta go. It's in Jersey. Beginning as this inspired global culture and peace and prosperity. Man, I gotta check this joint. I gotta go here. Yeah, I didn't know this was in Jersey. I didn't know this was in Jersey. Where do the world's urban people go for not only real and useful advice, but also for real and useful hip hop opportunities? With young people out of work and having no safe space to go to express their creativity, and older people also. I mean, can I donate to this joint? Yo, I think I just found a new It's not new, but new to me, I guess. I didn't actually know he had a legit freaking establishment. Yo, shout out to KRS One, man. Live in that bit. But talk about being the change you want to see in the community. Shout out to KRS One. This album is essential listening for hip hop fans. Straight up. It's one of those things where it's like you pull somebody's hip hop card. You know what I'm saying? This is message driven hip hop. Listen to this album. It reinforces his dedication to the culture and the impact. My favorite track on this whole joint is actually the closing track. All of it slaps. 50 more years of hip hop. That's how you do it. So I appreciate KRS One for still getting behind that mic at the age of 60, giving us, the passion. As long as he's got breath in his lungs, he's still got something to say. If you can talk, you can still rap. If you one of these legends of art, these OGs, you talking to me right now like I'm talking. If you can still talk, you can still rap, you can still rhyme. I mean, some projects turn out a little bit better than others. LL Cool J was still coming through with it. Will Smith, you know, I gave it a listen. Notice I didn't give it a review. But shout out to KRS One. Check out that last track on the album. 50 more years of hip hop.